Yeah, I want to talk about, this is probably going in my books section. This is part of my autobiography. So, I was living in Yosemite and I moved there in 85. In 1986, I moved there in August like 1st, I think it was. In 1986, I think in March, I met Sandra, my children's mother, and future wife. She was a new hire and I was security, and she asked me if I was supposed to help her, and I told her no, that I would, but that I would. I was working and in uniform, and so I took her to where she needed to go, and then she was pretty, and we had a lot in common because she was from like the next town over from where I was from in LA, but she was like, oh, I'm a Yosemite Indian, I'm coming back to my homeland, and I found that very appealing and attractive and intriguing, and so I pursued her, and she let me and encouraged it, and we ended up becoming roommates, at my insistence. She didn't want to, but I did, and I got her pregnant in Tukoya C4. So Irene, if you ever want to see where you're conceived, you can go to Tukoya C4 and see that room. Anyway, so we both worked for the concessionaire for security. It was the security, fire, and safety department. And when she had Irene, they kicked us out of housing. It was looking back, it was so typical. It was so I don't know. I mean, a Yosemite Indian is born and they kick you out of the park. That's what happened. They said, oh, we're not going to give you family housing, which they could have, but they didn't. They decided not to. So I had to come and look for a place here in Mariposa. Irene was born in March 10th, and in May I started looking for a place for us to rent, and I rode my motorcycle down here to Mariposa, and I found a newspaper on the Happy Burger, which is in the middle of town, hamburger stand on a bench, and looked in the classifieds, and the first place I looked was on Carter, 6020 Carter Road, which is across the street from here. And so I rode my motorcycle over to the guy who was renting it, which is across the street from the place, and told him that I was a security officer, firefighter, and EMT in Yosemite, that my wife was a Yosemite Indian, that we just had a baby and they kicked us out of the park and we need housing so we can both keep working. And he took my application, and then he called me a couple days later and said, you know what, 10 people want the place, but we're going to give it to you. So, and then that was the guy that, I heard about this program where you could get a free well and septic system from Indian Health Services if you had land, a dwelling, and electricity. And I was like, in today's dollars, it's like 30 grand worth of stuff. I was like, man, that'd be stupid not to take advantage of that. We should look for a piece of land. So I told my landlord, he's like, I got this place across the street that's for sale. He's like, wait 3 weeks and the listing will end, and I'll show it to you directly, and you can buy it directly with me, and you can save the commission, which ended up being like $3,500. So he had it listed for $37,500. I offered him $30,750. So he went down $7,500. We saved, or he went down like $7,000. We saved $3,500 plus on the no commission. So it was like a $10,000 discount to get this land. I had to come up with $7 grand, and then it was $317 a month for 10 years. And so we bought it in December of '87. I just got the deed, and we separated in July of '88, and I moved. Oh wait, what? No, we separated in July of. When did we? Yeah, we separated in July. Was it? No. When did we get the land? Yeah, we just got it in December of '87, and we separated in July of '90. And so I guess we had the land for a couple of years before I did anything to it. So once we separated, I bought a mobile and I drug it up here because I didn't want to keep paying rent. Anyway, my neighbors are here to help me pick berries.